Every Power Ranger team member, from Mighty Morphin to Ninja Steel, has contributed to the greater Power Rangers mythos in one form or another. However, every couple of seasons, we seem to get this one character that seems to exemplify everything that the Power Rangers stand for. Today, I'm going to share with you who I think are the top 5 Power Rangers of all time. Now, by no means is this list definitive. I'm just letting you know what my opinion is. If you disagree, leave a comment down below letting me know who you think are the top 5 Power Rangers of all time. Alright, so let's get started. Number 5 on my list is Jennifer Scotts from Power Rangers Time Force. She makes my list for a number of reasons, but the most important is for being the first female leader of an Earth-based Power Rangers team. Now before you comment trying to correct me, I did say Earth-based Power Rangers team. Yes, I know, Delphine was the leader of the Alien Rangers, but they were stationed in Aquitar. Jennifer, as far as I'm concerned, is the first female leader of an Earth-based team. Let's be honest, being the first female leader of an Earth-based anything is an amazing achievement, so I give her huge props for that. But beside being the first female leader of a Power Rangers team, she was also one of the most professional and dedicated members of any Power Rangers team. Her no-nonsense attitude means that she was focused on getting the job done. But like any good leader, it was her heart that guided her. That mixture of duty and devotion made her an extremely believable leader, and that's why she earned the number 5 spot on this list. Number 4 on my list is the original Red Ranger, Jason Lee Scott. In many ways, Jason represents the founding principles of the Power Rangers. As a leader, Jason possessed a positive outlook on life that never allowed him to give up. This ultimately becomes the basic tenet of what the Power Rangers stand for. Jason personified confidence and rarely ever doubted his ability as a leader. Even when evil forces tried to attack his confidence as a leader, such as in the episode Island of Illusions, Jason never gave in. He knew that being a hero wasn't about success, but about pushing forward. Jason was highly protective of his team members, even going so far as feeling responsible when Tommy lost his Green Ranger powers. Like any good leader, he knew that it wasn't about him, but about the team. As such, when Zordon passed the mantle of team leader to Tommy as the White Ranger, Jason graciously stepped aside. Jason's confidence, loyalty, and selflessness earned him spot number 4 on my list. Number 3 on my list is the one and only Tommy Oliver. Tommy has been a long-time fan favorite. As such, he has been the leader of an unprecedented 4 Power Ranger teams, having worn just as many colors: green, white, red, and black. Tommy's contribution to the ongoing legacy of the Power Rangers cannot be disputed. As Green Ranger, he was the first evil ranger that we had on the series, and the 5-episode story arc Green with Evil represents some of the best of Power Rangers that we've had to date. Tommy's talents as a Power Ranger cannot be understated. As the Green Ranger, he nearly single-handedly destroyed the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Eventually, he was able to break the spell which Rita had placed on him, and he became good. Essentially, as Green Ranger, he defeated himself. Tommy was so effective as a Power Ranger that when he lost his Green Ranger powers, Zordon felt it necessary to construct him new powers, and thus we got the White Ranger. But Tommy's number 1 attribute, and the one that landed him a spot on my list, is his dedication. As Green Ranger, even when he was losing his powers and he knew that he was vulnerable, he still continued to fight. Perhaps it was that initial fear of losing his powers that inspired his dedication to the Power Rangers' legacy. Because he went from potentially no longer being a Power Ranger to leading 4 individual teams: Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, and Dino Thunder. At this point, Tommy has worn 5 distinct costumes. He can be his own Power Ranger team. It's that dedication that earned him a spot on this list. Okay, so number 2 on my list, without a doubt, is Andros. As the Red Space Ranger, Andros was a serious and focused soldier. At first, Andros suffered some serious abandonment issues. He had nearly lost his sister Corone and his best friend Shane to the forces of evil. So when the Turbo Rangers joined his team as the new Space Rangers, Andros really struggled to accept them as a team. But eventually he abandoned his insecurities and built deep and lasting relationships with his fellow Space Rangers, especially Ashley. But what really lands him on my list are 2 important things. The first is that as Red Ranger, he had to fight his long-lost sister Corone, who was now known as Astronema. That realization had to be tough on Andros, but he still did all he could to be a good Red Ranger. But the main thing that earns him this number 2 spot is the fact that he had to destroy Zordon. Not only was it bad enough that he had to fight his sister, but now he had to destroy the universe's most beloved mentor. That terribly difficult and selfless act by both Andros and Zordon decimated the forces of evil throughout the universe. In that moment, Andros helped to wipe out a wave of evil that had plagued the universe for centuries. A wave of evil that countless Rangers before him had struggled to contain. That was a hugely defining moment in Power Rangers history. After all that, years later, it would be Andros to discover the secret reconstruction of the Machine Empire. It would be this important intel by Andros that would lead all previous Red Rangers to come together into a coalition to stop the forces of evil. You know what I'm talking about, Forever Red. Without a doubt, Andros will go down as one of the best Rangers ever, and for that, he's earned the number 2 spot on this list. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, this list is just my opinion of who I think the top 5 Rangers of all time are. So, as I get into number 1, I have to tell you, I know a lot of you will probably disagree. All I ask is that you hear me out. My number 1 pick for all-time best Ranger goes to Billy Cranston. First and foremost, Billy was an original member of the Mighty Morphin team. Of the original 5 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Billy served longer than any of them. As the resident genius, he was an invaluable member of both the Mighty Morphin team and the Zeo team. And even though he didn't directly wield any of the Zeo powers, he was still an integral member of that team. He went from repairing Zords in Mighty Morphin to building them in Zeo. Billy also created one of the most iconic relics of Power Ranger history, the wrist communicator. And when the Rangers were unable to teleport, they could always rely on Billy's flying car, the Radbug. Billy was such a universally respected inventor that when Aquitar was in trouble, Sestro traversed the galaxy just to get Billy's help. I always felt that if there was one Ranger to take on Zordon's place, it would be Billy. Billy is kind, wise, and dedicated. And to be honest, I kind of feel like the writers knew this. Towards the end of his tenure on Zeo, Billy began to age rapidly from an illness. As such, he has to travel to Aquitar to find the cure before he ages and ultimately dies. I feel that this mirrors Zordon's time warp situation. Without a doubt, Billy had one of the best character arcs of any character in Power Rangers history. He went from being a quiet and reserved kid to a confident and capable Ranger. And although in Zeo he was unable to morph, he showed us that sometimes it's what's inside of us that truly makes us powerful. And for that, he's earned the number 1 spot on my list of the best all-time Power Rangers. Alright guys, that's my list for the top 5 Power Rangers of all time. Now, I want to know what's yours. Leave a comment down below and let me know, who do you think are the top 5 Power Rangers of all time? Alright, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.